Something we all have in common as MultiVersus players is the fact that we are all online warriors. Sure, some of us probably go to locals, but the vast majority of the matches played in MultiVersus are played online. Today, we're going to be breaking down which MultiVersus characters are the best online, which characters suffer online, and why these stats are the way they are. Without any further delay, let's get cracking. Now, we actually have stats for the win rates of every single character online, and sorry 1v1 fans, but I'm mostly going to be looking at 2v2s today. If you'd like to look at the stats yourself, these all came from the Twitter page MultiVersus Data. You can find the link to their Twitter in the description below the video, and while you're at it, you can also find my Twitter down there as well. We won't be discussing Morty's stats as it's a little too early for that. We need to give players time to learn the character, save up for gold for the character, and then play enough matches for a large sample size. So let's take a look at the chart for win rates across 2v2s online since last week's balance patch. The bottom 5 performing characters are LeBron James, Batman, Arya Stark, Finn the Human, and Steven Universe. For the top 5 characters, we have Raindog, Tom and Jerry, Shaggy, Velma, and the Iron Giant. That's right guys, I was wrong about the Iron Giant. Well, kinda. Let's break down what actually goes into a character's online win rate. First things first, you'll notice that 3 of the worst performing characters in the game are incredibly light, which makes sense. The lighter your character, the earlier you die. There's a lot less room for error, and characters with little room for error generally don't do well online. You make one wrong choice, and that can be your stock or even the game. Looking at this graph, you can see that characters generally get heavier as the win rate goes up. It's not just character weight that determines how a character performs though. You might have noticed that LeBron is one of the worst winning characters in the game right now, and he's among the 5 heaviest characters in the game. The reason for that is pretty simple. LeBron is new and he's pretty difficult. He's a very high execution character. Believe it or not, high execution characters generally don't do well online either. I know, it's crazy, but there's a very high correlation between ease of use and online performance. There's also a pretty strong link between projectiles and online performance. Raindog, Bugs Bunny, Tom and Jerry, and Velma all have incredibly high win rates. Now, before we go any further on these stats, I need you guys to go ahead and subscribe. If you don't, I will be hunting you all down online with the Iron Giant. I don't make the rules, okay? You don't subscribe and you will just hear giant metal stomping outside your window because I am coming for you, buddy. I am walking to you with malicious intent. Okay, jokes aside, subscribe, it helps a lot. But getting back to the video, we need to talk about what this data actually means. Some of you might think this is as official of a tier list as we can have, right? Surely the online win rates tell us which characters are the best in the game and which ones are the worst. Well, not exactly. Let's look at the online win rates of Smash Ultimate characters. Some of the characters with the highest win rates online are the Belmonts, and one of the characters with the worst online win rates is Joker. Are you seriously going to tell me that Joker is a worse character than the Belmonts? Well, no, but the Belmonts are heavier than Joker and they have a lot more projectiles. It makes sense why they do so well in Smash Ultimate Online. And even though MultiVersus does have better netcode, sadly, online is online. There's no way to avoid delay completely, and there's also no way to just fix everyone's bad connections and make sure they're all wired. That's not gonna happen. People will continue playing on Wi-Fi, and you will continue getting rollbacks. What makes a good online character is usually the possession of certain traits. Traits like projectiles, heavy weights, the fact that they're easy to play. And that's exactly it. Let's just look at Iron Giant, who is a combination of all 3. He's not particularly hard to play, he has multiple projectiles, and yeah, he's the heaviest character in the entire game by a lot. Iron Giant players get to make more mistakes than you because they're going to die much later than you. Of course he wins the most online. Shaggy is one of the heaviest characters in the game, and he's incredibly easy. Velma is the heaviest support and has loads of projectiles. Oh yeah, and she's also easy. Tom and Jerry have loads of projectiles as well, And yes, they're easy to play. Don't believe the propaganda. If you can hit your dynamite with your racket, you're gonna be okay. If you can aim Jerry, hit your dynamite, use your frying pan, and then clap your trash can lids, you're gonna do fine as Tom and Jerry. This character being hard to play and high execution is propaganda. Don't fall for it. It's the way that Tom and Jerry players are avoiding nerfs, and the fact that it's working is really sad. Moving on from my miniature Tom and Jerry rant, Rain Dog has projectiles and is pretty easy to play. Guys, it's obvious. When you're heavy, you get to make more mistakes without losing your stocks in game. When you have projectiles, you can threaten people from complete safety, and they're a lot harder to deal with when you're dealing with any sort of delay. When you're an easy character, you don't have to worry about messing up your execution in a crucial game-winning moment. Also, we have to keep this in mind, the average MMR for this data is 915. Considering the best players in the game have over 2,000, some close to 3,000, that's really nothing to write home about. This is essentially a graph for how easy it is to win against casual players with a certain character. If you want to treat this data like it's something that dictates how high a character is on a tier list, then you also have to concede that King DDD is just so much stronger than Minecraft Steve. It's the same argument. A lot of you may be wondering, well, what is even the point of this data, nosy boy? What even do I get to learn from this? Well, frankly, it's just nice to know which characters to pick if your only goal is to climb online. Also, the data proved me wrong about Iron Giant. Isn't that enough? I mean, I give everyone watching, yes, including you, full permission to go into the comment section and type, "Nosy, I told you Iron Giant was busted. He's absolutely nuts. Cracked ass character, Nosy, I told you." And then I get to reply to every single one of those comments, "Yeah, and I told you that Tom and Jerry were an easy, honorless, Mickey ass character. Congratulations." Thank you guys for watching, and I'll smell you guys later.
So.